I'm not exactly sure why, but reverb pedal demo jams always hit different. We got a real simple pedal here. No menu diving. There's just 3 knobs. We've got mix, decay, and tone. And the tone knob doubles as a button to let us drive through the pedal's 6 different modes. So let's start at the top and work our way down, starting with the plate reverb. We're gonna go a little bit out of order on here. So we're gonna click this 3 times and take us down to the mod mode. And mod is just the plate reverb that we just heard, but with a little bit of modulation added into the mix. I'm gonna have the mix and the decay set a little bit higher than I normally would, just so we can all hear the differences in this video. But I want you to hear what happens when you crank them dang near all the way up, because that gets us into some very interesting ambient soundscape territory. I kept the tone knob back down a little bit there because sometimes with spring reverb, I feel like that early metallic reflection can be a little bit harsh, and I wanted to kind of push it into the background frequency-wise. This is also a good opportunity for me to demo just what you can do with the tone knob on here. One of my favorite pedals is the Ancient Echoes by Wonderful Audio Technology. It combines a PT2399 chip-based delay into a digital reverb module. So it's got a delayed reverb that kind of hits you in waves. It's just a beautiful pedal. The M300's Epic mode kind of sounds like that. It's a cascading mix of delays that evolves into a reverberation. reverb might not sound all that exciting at face value, but it lets our listener know that our sound doesn't just exist, but that it exists in a space. And if we're recording ampless and digital, this becomes extremely important. Allow me to demonstrate. And lastly, there's a pad mode. This is a reverb with an octave up and an octave down. And I'm also hearing a flanger-esque modulation going on in there, which just reminds me how much I love the supernova mode on the Hardwire Supernatural. There's a few other nice features on this pedal. If we bring it into startup mode, that lets us set if we want trails on or off. So do we want true bypass when we turn it off, or do we want those reverberations to naturally trail off? You can have one or the other, not both. We can also set this to operate in wet only mode, so we get only the reverberations and no dry signal. If you need it, that's how you get it. There's also an expression pedal jack on the side here, so we can adjust the values, but not the mode itself, while we play. So here's some footage of me using that to fade up those pad values. One more thing we definitely need to talk about, because there is some confusion about this. This is a stereo pedal. If you're running a mono pedal into this and you want stereo out, you just need a TRS cable or a TRS adapter like this to break out the left and the right signal. Easy as that. If you're running a stereo chorus or something before it, that is when you need to go inside and flip the switch over. That is what lets the pedal know that you're supplying it with a left and a right input. Otherwise, you don't need to flip that switch over. And I tested this with the Logic goniometer. It works out exactly as it should. Stereo sounds abound. I think it was a very bold decision to simplify this down to a 3-knob pedal. I also think a pre-delay knob would go very far in making some of these modes a little more useful, especially since there's only room. There's no hall or chamber mode. I also think it would make the epic mode with the cascading delays something that would be really useful and compelling instead of just, hey, that's kind of neat. And don't get me wrong, they kept the right stuff in here. I found it very easy to find my sounds and to bust out that demo jam. I just kind of hope they double back like they did with the carbon copy pedal and do an M300 Deluxe with maybe a few more modes and a pre-delay and some presets. But overall, no complaints here. Big sound, little pedal, and you can find this and other reverberation options at zounds.com. And if you go there, please do me a big favor and use my link down there in the video description. I hope you're having an amazing summer, or whatever it's doing in your part of the world. I'll catch you on the next one.